The Iowa Night in 1912. The Iowa night in 1912 was a thick, velvety blanket, star-pricked and silent. The air, usually alive with the chirping of crickets and the distant lowing of cattle, held an unnatural stillness. Inside the sprawling farmhouse of the Blackwood family, a different kind of silence had fallen. A silence that would soon be shattered, not by the dawn, but by an act of unimaginable violence. The Blackwood house was a testament to a life carved from the rich Iowa soil. 7 bedrooms, a large communal kitchen, a parlor where the family gathered for Sunday hymns, and a basement filled with preserves and the earthy smell of root vegetables. Josiah Blackwood, a man whose hands bore the calluses of honest labor, slept soundly in the master bedroom. Beside him, his wife Martha, her face softened by sleep, dreamt of spring planting. In the room next door, their eldest son, Thomas, a young man on the cusp of adulthood, lay oblivious. Across the hall, twins Clara and Edith, their girlish dreams undisturbed, slept in their shared bed. Down the hall, young Samuel, barely 10, clutched his worn wooden soldier, his breathing deep and even. And in the small attic room, Uncle Silas, Josiah's brother, a quiet man who had come to help with the harvest, also slept. 8 souls, bound by blood and circumstance, nestled under one roof, unaware of the darkness that was about to descend. The only other occupant of the house was Bessie, a scruffy terrier mix who usually patrolled the perimeter with a series of yaps and growls. Tonight, Bessie was strangely silent, her usual vigilance replaced by a deep, almost somnolent peace. It was as if the very air around the house had been drugged, a silent accomplice to the grim tableau that was about to unfold. The perpetrator, whoever they were, moved with a chilling precision. No forced entry, no signs of struggle in the usual sense. The axe, a common tool of farm life, wielded with a terrifying purpose, struck with brutal efficiency. In the master bedroom, the blows were swift and final. Martha's soft cries were silenced before they could form. Josiah, roused for a fleeting moment, offered no resistance, his life extinguished in a blur of terror. Thomas, the young man, fared no better. The shock of the attack, the sudden agonizing pain, would have been his only companions in his final moments. The twins, Clara and Edith, their innocent slumber shattered by the horrific sounds and the unimaginable pain, were victims of a cruelty that defied comprehension. Samuel, the youngest, his dreams of soldiers and adventures abruptly ending in a nightmare of blood and steel. And Silas, the uncle, his quiet presence in the attic offering no sanctuary from the storm of violence. The house, once a sanctuary of family and hard work, became a tomb. The silence that returned after the deed was done was heavier, more profound than the stillness of the night. It was the silence of death, of lives brutally extinguished, of a family ripped apart in a single horrific night. The next morning, it was Agnes Miller, a neighbor who often helped Martha with chores, who discovered the horror. Arriving with a basket of freshly baked bread, she found the front door ajar. A shiver of unease snaked down her spine. The Blackwoods were early risers, and the house was usually bustling with activity by this hour. She called out Martha's name, her voice echoing in the unnerving quiet. No answer. Hesitantly, Agnes pushed the door open further and stepped inside. The scent of blood, metallic and sickening, hit her immediately. Her eyes, wide with disbelief and dawning horror, scanned the hallway. A dark, viscous pool was spreading from the master bedroom. A strangled cry escaped her lips. She stumbled back, her hand flying to her mouth, her mind refusing to process the scene. Then, driven by a desperate need to understand, or perhaps to confirm her worst fears, she forced herself to look again. the axe, its wooden handle stained crimson, lay discarded on the floor near the master bedroom door. Agnes, a woman of considerable fortitude, somehow managed to retain a semblance of composure. She backed out of the house, her heart pounding against her ribs like a trapped bird. She ran, her feet pounding the dirt path towards the nearest neighbor, the frantic cry of "Murder! Murder!" torn from her throat. The news spread like wildfire through the small Iowa community. Sheriff Brody, a man who had known Josiah Blackwood for 20 years, arrived with his deputies, his face grim. The scene that greeted them was one of unspeakable brutality. The methodical nature of the killings, the apparent lack of any motive, the sheer savagery, left them stunned. Each room told a story of interrupted peace, of lives snatched away in their most vulnerable moments. The bloodstains, the overturned furniture in some rooms, the eerie stillness in others painted a horrifying picture. There were no signs of forced entry, no ransacked drawers, no obvious theft. The Blackwoods were a respected family, known for their hard work and quiet lives. Who would want to inflict such a massacre upon them? The investigation began immediately, but the answers remained elusive. The community was a close-knit one, and secrets were hard to keep. Yet, no one had seen or heard anything suspicious. No strangers had been reported in the area. The silence of the night had been absolute, a shroud for the killer. Whispers began to circulate. Theories, wild and desperate, emerged from the fear and grief. Was it a drifter, passing through? A disgruntled farmhand? A crime of passion gone horribly wrong? But the lack of any evidence, the sheer audacity of the act, pointed to something far more disturbing. The authorities scoured the surrounding farmland, questioned every farmer and resident within miles. They looked for discarded weapons, for any clue, however small, that might lead them to the killer. But the Iowa landscape, vast and unforgiving, seemed to swallow any trace of the perpetrator. The axe itself, a heavy double-bitted tool, was examined. It was a common type, found on most farms. There were no distinguishing marks, no fingerprints that could be lifted from the blood-smeared handle. It was as if the weapon had materialized out of thin air, used with deadly intent, and then vanished, leaving only the devastating consequences. The investigation continued for months, then years. The Blackwood murders became a persistent shadow over the community, a chilling reminder of the darkness that could lurk beneath the surface of ordinary life. The house itself, once filled with laughter and the aroma of Martha's cooking, stood empty, a silent monument to the tragedy. Locals avoided it, their imaginations painting it with the horrors that had transpired within its walls. Many theories were proposed, many suspects scrutinized, but none could be definitively linked to the crime. The motive remained a phantom, the killer an enigma. Was it a single individual or a group? Was the target the entire family, or was there a specific victim? The questions hung in the air, unanswered, like the dust motes dancing in the shafts of light that pierced the gloom of the abandoned house. Some whispered about Silas, the uncle. He had been quiet, reclusive. Perhaps he harbored a dark secret, a hidden rage, but his body had been found among the others. His life also brutally ended. Others spoke of a feud, a land dispute, a secret love affair. But the Blackwoods were known for their peaceful nature, their lives seemingly devoid of the kind of conflict that would lead to such extreme violence. The passage of time did little to assuage the fear or uncover the truth. The case grew cold, filed away in the archives of the county sheriff's office, a testament to an unsolved mystery. The Blackwood house, weathered and decaying, became a local legend, a place whispered about in hushed tones, a symbol of the inexplicable evil that had visited their quiet corner of Iowa. The unsolved nature of the crime fueled the speculation, allowing the imagination to run wild. It was said that the spirit of the Blackwood family still roamed the house, their restless souls forever seeking justice. Children dared each other to approach the derelict structure, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and morbid curiosity. The axe, the silent witness, was never found. The killer, whoever they were, had vanished as completely as if they had been swallowed by the earth. The Iowa night of 1912, once a symbol of peaceful slumber, had been forever tainted by the memory of the house where 8 people were axed in their sleep. The silence that had once been a comfort had become a chilling reminder of the secrets that could lie hidden, of the darkness that could strike without warning, leaving behind only questions and the enduring echo of an unsolved atrocity. The Blackwood tragedy remained a stark, unsettling chapter in Iowa's history, a story that continued to haunt the collective memory, a testament to the enduring power of a mystery that refused to yield its secrets. Some stories don't end when the night does. They linger, in places, in records, and in the quiet moments when the lights are off. If stories like this matter to you, the forgotten nights, the unanswered questions, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. More true stories are coming, and some nights are still waiting to be remembered.